Hello and welcome to Express News. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. In the next half an hour, we'll get you all the latest news and updates. Let's start with our top story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today interacted through video conference with IPS probationers during the Dikshant Parade event at the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel National Police Academy. Speaking on the issue of mental stress related to jobs, PM Modi said that stress can be managed, ensuring balance in terms of responsibilities and regular training. PM also stressed on the importance of yoga as a way to curb all kinds of stress. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also praised the work done by the police during the Corona period. PM said the services provided by the police in the lockdown are excellent. The humane side of the police was seen in this Corona period. Home Minister Amit Shah also wished all the IPS probationers. In a tweet, Home Minister said, and I quote, "My best wishes to all these young IPS officers on their Dikshant Parade. May they serve the nation with utmost dedication while ensuring its security and integrity. I'm confident that their commitment towards service will inspire our youngsters to join the Indian Police Service." Home Minister also said that Prime Minister's inspiring speech will surely boost the morale of our young officers and guide them on how to strengthen the police public relations. The Chief of Army Staff, General MM Naravane, concluded a two-day visit to Leh today. The SCO-CSTO-CIS arrived at Leh on 3rd September 2020 and proceeded to forward areas to undertake a first-hand assessment of the situation along the LAC. General Naravane appreciated the high morale and standards of professionalism exhibited by the units in safeguarding own territorial integrity. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has said that a solution to India-China border row has to be found in the domain of diplomacy. Speaking at an online event for the launch of his book, the External Affairs Minister said that India and China have agreement and understanding that must be scrupulously followed by both the countries. Sources say Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is likely to meet Chinese Defence Minister on the sidelines of Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting in Moscow. China had requested for the meeting yesterday. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said that India is committed to evolution of global security architecture, which will be open, transparent, inclusive, rules-based and anchored in international laws. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh, who is on a three-day visit to Russia, held meeting with Russian Defence Minister General Sergei Shoigu in Moscow on Thursday. Raksha Mantri briefed General Shoigu on the Make in India defence program in the context of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Atmanirbhar Bharat vision. Sources say Russia reiterated that it will follow a policy of no arms supply to Pakistan following India's request. Russia also assures India that it stands by India's security interests and supports Make in India program. The Narcotics Control Bureau today raided the residence of Riya and Shouvik Chakraborty in connection with the drug trafficking probe linked to actor Sushant Singh Rajput's death probe. Shouvik and Miranda have been taken into custody by NCB team for questioning. Bashid, another accused arrested by NCB, was produced before a local court and was remanded to NCB custody till September 9th. The Supreme Court on Friday dismissed the plea of former Congress leader Sajjan Kumar, who is serving life imprisonment in a 1984 anti-Sikh riots case seeking interim bail on health grounds. Sajjan Kumar is serving life imprisonment after the Delhi High Court had convicted him and others in the case on December 17, 2018. Ahead of the monsoon session of the Parliament, all the parliamentarians have been informed by the Parliament Secretariat that the members, their PA, PS and drivers will have to undergo COVID-19 test before this session. The Ministry of Shipping has directed all major ports to procure or charter tugboats which are only made in India. The all procurement being done, major ports would now need to be carried out as per the revised Make in India order. The Ministry of Shipping is aiming to promote Indian shipbuilding industry and also have discussion with some leading countries for Make in India shipbuilding. In the meantime, the decision of the government is being considered a big move towards realizing Make in India in shipbuilding. Union Minister of State for Shipping Mansukh Mandavia today said there is a huge opportunity of ship repairing industry in India. He said to encash this opportunity, the government is taking all actions to revive old shipyards and promote shipbuilding in the country. The recovery rate reached 77.15%, while the case fatality rate has also dropped to 1.74%. 66,659 recoveries were recorded yesterday, taking the cumulative total of recovered patients to 30,37,151. India's three-pronged strategy of test, trace and treat is proving to be a success. The number of active COVID-19 cases in India stands at 8,31,124, which is 21.11% of the total cases reported so far. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has said that less than 0.5% of the active cases are on ventilators and only 2% are in ICUs. They also mentioned that less than 3.5% patients are on oxygen support. The ministry added that due to early detection, early hospitalization and effective clinical management based on standard treatment protocols, such low figures have been achieved. According to the Indian Council of Medical Research, the total number of samples tested up to 3rd of September is 4,66,79,145. 11,69,765 samples were tested in a single day yesterday. The Election Commission meeting was held today regarding holding of by-elections due in various states. Considering that General Assembly elections of Bihar are also due and required to be completed before 29th November 2020, Commission has decided to conduct all the 65 by-elections and the General Assembly elections of Bihar around the same time. Domestic equity benchmark Sensex crashed 634 points on Friday, tracking losses. The 30-share BSE index ended 633.76 points or 1.63% lower at 38,357.18. The NSE Nifty plunged 193.60 points or 1.68% to close at 11,333.85. In the forex market, the rupee appreciated 33 paise to close at 73.14 against the US dollar. Global oil benchmark Brent crude was trading 0.91% higher at USD 44.47 per barrel. Gold prices were marginally down by Rs 56 to Rs 51,770 per 10 grams on Friday in the national capital amid rupee appreciation, according to HDFC Securities. Silver prices on Friday fell by Rs 7 to 66,919 per kg in futures trade as participants trimmed their positions. To drive faster adoption of electronic toll collection, the Union Road Transport and Highways Ministry has proposed to make FASTag mandatory in all four-wheelers effective 1st January 2021. Union Minister Harsimrat Kaur Badal approved as many as 27 projects in 11 states under the scheme for integrated cold chain and value addition infrastructure of Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana. She said that the new integrated cold chain projects are likely to generate direct and indirect employment for 16,200 and are likely to benefit 2,57,904 farmers. The novel coronavirus has claimed the lives of over 8.73 lakh people worldwide, while more than 2.65 crore have contracted the infection so far. As many as 1.86 crore people have recovered worldwide from COVID-19. The US and Brazil remain worst affected in terms of both COVID-19 related cases and deaths. The US has so far recorded over 63 lakh cases with over 1.91 lakh deaths. Brazil has crossed the 40 lakh mark in terms of infections, recording over 40 lakh cases and a death toll surging past 1.24 lakh. In the past 24 hours, over 43,000 new cases were reported in the country and there were 834 deaths from the virus. Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro reiterated that COVID-19 vaccinations will not be obligatory when they become available. Brazil signed an agreement with AstraZeneca to buy 30 million doses of the vaccine it is developing with Oxford University, with an option for 70 million more doses if the vaccine works. White House spokeswoman Kayleigh McEnany said on Thursday that there is no political pressure on the US drugs regulator to quickly approve a vaccine for the deadly coronavirus disease. In US, executives of 5 top pharmaceutical companies pledged that no COVID-19 vaccines or treatments will be approved even for emergency use without proof they are safe and effective. White House has given assurances that President Trump will not in any way sacrifice safety when it comes to a vaccine. Israel will impose a partial national lockdown next week due to surge in coronavirus infection. The health officials said that Israel was facing a pivotal moment in trying to contain the spread of COVID-19 with over 3,000 new cases reported daily. And there are cities in Israel that will be put under curfew and closure in the coming week and face economic, social and personal hardship. The health official also said that infection rates were also high in Jewish seminaries and has appealed the religious leaders to ensure social distancing rules. Russia marked the anniversary of World War II on Thursday with a military parade and a monument opening in the far east city of Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky. The new monument features of the names of soldiers who died during the Battle of Shumsu, one of the last major battles of World War II, which was the first stage of Kurils invasion by the Soviet Union. 7 police officers were suspended on Thursday over the arrest and asphyxiation death of black man Daniel Prude in Rochester, New York. The city mayor called it an act of racism. Rescue workers in Lebanon detected signs of life on Thursday in the rubble of a building in a residential area of Beirut that collapsed after a huge August 4 explosion at a nearby airport. In Colombia's Bogota, restaurants reopened on Thursday as the government relaxed quarantine measures after some 5 months of lockdown. Restaurants will be allowed to open with 25% capacity and will operate from Thursdays to Sundays. In Brazil, the central bank of the country has released a new 200 reais bank, which is largest in circulation till date. Around 450 million new banknotes will be printed on a cotton substrate this year. The note has been issued due to increased demand by people to hold cash during the uncertain times of the coronavirus pandemic. Police shot and killed an anti-fascist activist, Michael Renoel, as they moved in to arrest him for the alleged fatal shooting of a right-wing activist in Portland. Michael was wanted on a charge of murder when members of a fugitive task force shot him dead. 12 schools in mainland of France have been closed as coronavirus cases surge across the country, but rest of the almost 60,000 opened as planned at the start of the academic year. Some parents and teachers unions voicing concerns that the virus could spread through classrooms. Italy's former Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi has been diagnosed with the early stages of double pneumonia after testing positive for coronavirus and was suffering from breathing difficulties. Berlusconi underwent major heart surgery 4 years ago and halted all public appearances after the coronavirus pandemic. Sri Lanka stepped up its firefighting mission on a fully loaded supertanker on fire with multiple naval vessels spraying seawater at the ablaze New Diamond tanker. The fire that broke out in the engine room on Thursday morning had spread to the bridge of the ship chartered by Indian Oil Corp. South Korea's Peak Medical Association called for an end to a doctor strike, which has complicated efforts to curb a new wave of coronavirus infections after the government backed down on plans to reform the sector. Korean Medical Association President Choi Jae-sip signed an agreement with Health Minister Park Neung-hoo ending the strike. In equal terms, to frighten and to educate the public in Jakarta, a campaign is introduced that involves displaying dummy coffins to warn people about the deadliness and the spread of the coronavirus in Indonesia. Belarus President Alexander Lukashenko said that protests in the country are being influenced from abroad and named Poland, Czech, Lithuania and Ukraine as a source of influence. He also mentioned that neighbor countries want Belarus to collapse. Ryanair raised 400 million euros from shareholders by a share placement aimed at strengthening its balance sheet in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic. The Irish airline issued shares at a discount of approximately 2.6% and decided to raise funds to capitalize on opportunities created by COVID-19 disruption. COVID-19 pandemic has hit the Japan's tour industry and imports fell 18% in the first 6 months of 2020 from a year earlier. The pandemic is pressuring wholesalers at Tokyo's sprawling fish market and restaurants to adapt to survive. India's Sumit Nagal suffered a 3-6, 3-6, 2-6 loss to second seed Dominic Thiem in the second round of the 2020 US Open on Thursday. Nagal had become the first Indian in 7 years since Somdev Devvarman at the US Open in 2013 to win a singles match at a Grand Slam when he defeated American Bradley Clown in the first round. Britain's Andy Murray lost to 6-3, 6-4, 6 to 20-year-old Canadian Felix in round 2. With this loss, Andy Murray's comeback from hip surgery came to an end. After a big run last week at the US Open venue, Milos Raonic's hopes of doing the same thing at the actual Grand Slam were dashed by a fellow Canadian. Vasek Pospisil upset the number 25 seed in a second-round match on Thursday. Russian third seed Medvedev scored a clinical 6-3, 6-2, 6-4 win on Thursday against Christopher O'Connell to reach the third round. Last year's runner-up Medvedev has not dropped a set or a serve in his first 2 matches. Former champion Marin Cilic entered the third round with a 6-3, 1-6, 7-6, 7-5 win over Norbert Gombos. In women's singles, Serena Williams is through to round 3. Serena beat Russian Margarita 6-2, 6-4. Serena will now face fellow American and former US Open champion Sloane Stephens. British number 1 Johanna Konta has been knocked out of the US Open. She lost to world number 77 Sorana Kirsty 2-6, 7-6, 6-4 in the second round. 10th seed Garbine Muguruza from Spain has been eliminated in the 2020 US Open. Bulgarian tennis player Svetlana Pironkova beat Muguruza 7-5, 6-3 in second round. Victoria Azarenka continued her good form, blasting past Belarusian compatriot Aryna Sabalenka 6-1, 6-3 to enter US Open third round for the 11th time. Former world number 1 Azarenka stretched her winning streak to 7 matches. American Madison Keys registered an emphatic 53-minute win over the 103rd ranked Spaniard Eliona Volsova. Keys won the match 6-2, 6-1. Australian Open champion Sophia Kenin beat Canadian Leila Fernandez 6-4, 6-3 to reach the third round of the US Open. Australia's long road back to international cricket finally comes to an end. Australia will take on England in 3-match T20I series. The White Ball Tour is the first for Australian men's side in any format since March. England's limited overs captain Eoin Morgan said it was great to have Jofra Archer back in the squad. The fast bowler prepared for his first white ball international since last year's World Cup finals. Skipper Mahendra Singh Dhoni and all other Chennai Super Kings players except for the COVID-19 afflicted duo of Deepak Chahar and Ruturaj Gaikwad will start training today. They cleared a third round of testing for the virus. Australia's 2020 Women's Big Bash League was shifted entirely to Sydney as coronavirus travel restrictions forced drastic venue and schedule changes. Defending champions Barbados Tridents crashed out after suffering a 6-wicket loss to Guyana Amazon Warriors, while St. Kitts and Navy Patriots too exited the Caribbean Premier League. Kazakh Alexei Lutsenko claimed his maiden victory on the Tour de France when he won the 6th stage on Thursday. Britain Adam Yates retained the overall leader's yellow jersey. Spain defender Gaia scored into stoppage time to salvage a 1-1 draw against Germany in the UEFA Nations League. The league started without fans on Thursday, ending a 10-month international break. Ukraine defeated Switzerland 2-1 in round 1 of UEFA Nations League. The Yellow Blues defeated a tough opponent in not-so-easy game. RB Leipzig have become the first Bundesliga club allowed to have some fans back in the stadium for their season opener next month. Earlier this week, the city's health authority gave the green light for up to 8,500 spectators to attend. Paris Saint-Germain announced 3 new positive cases of COVID-19 in the squad a day after Neymar and 2 teammates were revealed to have contracted the virus. The revelation cast serious doubt over the start of the Ligue 1 champion start to the season in France. There was a giant cake, music and dancing in a retirement home in southern France as one of its pensioners marked her 104th birthday. Visits in care homes of France from family members were prohibited for nearly 2 months. An artist, Marimay, in Filipino creates viral leaf art portraits during coronavirus. The 23-year-old came up with a unique new source of income, cutting away tiny pieces to reveal well-known faces. The Department of Fisheries under the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Irrigation has established Taketa Crocodiles Farm. This farm has been set up for the conservation of Enga moyek crocodiles and could prove to be a boon for the species. ZSL London Zoo welcomed the birth of a new two-toed sloth. Coming several weeks ahead of schedule, the birth caught zoo staff by surprise, spotting the baby clinging to its mother the next day. Moscow's famed Bolshoi Theatre gets ready for opening the ballet repertoire of the 245th season. The season will start with an unscheduled premiere of a project and promises to be special both for the spectators and for the artists. Berlin's Waldbühne open-air concert hall hosted its first performance in 6 months, but due to coronavirus restrictions, only 5,000 people were allowed access to the site. Song star Lauren Kaiser said that culture is a basic need for people. Alien director Ridley Scott is returning to the sci-fi universe of robots and aliens with a new HBO Max show, Raised by Wolves. The show is set in the future where Earth is no longer habitable. Today is 68th birth anniversary of Bollywood's late actor Rishi Kapoor. His daughter Ridhima Kapoor Sahni shared an album with her father on Instagram and penned an emotional note. Ridhima thanked her father for teaching the important lessons of life and helping her become the person she is today. The 12th season of Kaun Banega Crorepati to be soon on television screens. Sony TV told that the shooting of 12th season will be started from September 7th and also release the first look of the new set. Well, that's all we have in Express News. Stay tuned for more news and updates. Namaskar.